to plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood ones of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. The hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
I see, I wonder if people can hear us. Can you guys hear us? I'm sure there's a little delay.
See, because last time I had to pause my thing, or else there was a huge echo, so I'm kind of waiting to do that. But they probably can hear us and the intro music.
They can hear us, yes.
Can they hear us or the music?
They can hear. Can you guys hear the music too? RV, what's going on, brother?
Hi, new friends. Screw it. I'm not even going to do the music. I'm just going to do this then. I
see your logo, but not us.
Now we should come up. I can't see anything apparently because I'm not allowed to. So,
all right.
All right. Hey, Dave. So sweet, eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. I am so pleased to bring you my guest today, who is a longtime skeptic and researcher into the many illusions that seem to plague this world, an explorer of the intricacies of the lies, presented over thousands of years in order to lead all humanity astray, and a creator of beautiful tools with which to open your eyes and your mind with a hope-instilling ability to get some sheep to cast aside their wool. Dave Weiss is here with me for the first time ever on DLive Livestream Interview 1-on-1 with Rogue Ways. Dave, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
And is it thousands of years or maybe just 150 years?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
The timeline is as skewed and unclear as everything else is. So that's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, before we jump into things today, I want to thank every one of the people watching, all of my supporters and subscribers. I recently got to 1,000 on YouTube, and now I'm trying to do some DLive stuff because it's way, way, way better of a platform that doesn't censor so far, and we can hope that that continues forever. But part of my thank you to everybody who is watching is a couple free giveaways. So the first one is my novel, Sine Curve of Aeons. If you want to win this, then all you have to do is subscribe on DLive or YouTube, share the channel, like, comment. You can share the book itself on Amazon if you go find that link and share it. And any of those things that you do, just screenshot it and email it to Corey Sharman, QUORRISCHARMYN @gmail.com. As many times as you do it, that's as many entries as you get. So you can enter as many times as you want. I'm also lucky enough that a listener has donated this fine piece of art. My lighting is always bad when I'm trying to show this, but this piece of art was donated. You can see it's a couple feet by a couple feet, and it's kind of a very, very background coloring there and a line drawing. This reminds me of Donald Trump as an octopus. I'm not sure if that was the intention or not, but I love it. You think it's, yeah, it's Dave, dude. Here we go. So if you want to win,
how dare you call me Dave?
I'm sorry, Sam. So if you want to win this painting, you can do the exact same thing. So you'll just let me know when you email me which one you would like to enter for. The drawing for the book will be on the 21st on the solstice, and the drawing for the painting will be on the 1st of the new year. So we've got a couple weeks left for the painting and 1 week left for the book. If you want to enter to win those, again, just let me know which one. And if you have a bunch of entries in and you just want to split them up, just let me know that and you might win both. So that is what's going on today. Otherwise, check out rogueways.org if you want to see my other writings and ideas and art. And I also offer tarot readings for anybody who's into that. So all of that is ready for you. Thank you again to everybody who is playing along. Now, Dave, in classic Rogue style, I start with a pointless question of the episode, and I was going to ask you, what do you do for fun?
I like to wake up people to flat Earth. It's my most favorite thing to do. Sometimes, Friday night, Saturday night, I'm like, yeah, do we want to go out? I'm like, yeah, let's go out, because there's a chance that somehow I could bring up flat Earth to somebody.
You're not going out just to hang out. You're going out to find the globe earthers. And
you go out to hang out, and what do you talk about? Football, weather, politics. I'm not interested. It's fun to see some people and stuff, but you know what? Let's talk about where we live, who we are, what this place is. It's amazing. I mean, I have not been bored for a split second in 5 years since I discovered that, the heliocentric nonsense.
I love it. It's way more fun to talk about things that are that deep and engaging, because it's like, what are we all doing here, And what's the point of it if we're just going to sit around and like bore ourselves with trivialities? Let's get into like the meat of it. But do you ever find that people are like so blown away by even considering these things that it's like damaging to them?
Oh, there's people that you cannot bring this up with. There's, you want somebody to ask you about it, because if you at them first, you're at a huge disadvantage. I made this book. This is a hardcover book.
That's right.
I don't know if it's on the screen here.
Yeah, it is. Hoax.
And it has all these different images in it. All this different. It's just memes essentially.
Yes. Which are the most effective form of communication.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
And, so I put this out on my dining room table, my living room table, just a coffee table book. When people are over, they can't. It's such a nice book. They can't help but pick it up, and they pick it up and they start paging through. It doesn't matter what page they turn to, they're infected.
That's awesome.
And there's no getting out of it. And then I don't say anything. I try not to say anything. And then finally they're going through it. You make a comment, and then they start asking questions. It's literally the most effective passive way to get somebody.
That's pretty awesome. So people are just drawn to it. They open it. Has anybody picked it up and just looked at it and been like, what the fuck? And just like anger?
A year ago, Thanksgiving, I put it out and had my family. Oh, was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? Whatever. I think it was Thanksgiving. And I think it was one of the holidays, whatever. And my nephews, college age, out of college, plopped down on the couch, picked up the book, and started paging through it. And they, maybe it was a couple of years ago, and they paged through it. They went through the whole thing, didn't say anything. After dinner, they picked it up again, and I leaned over. I was like, "Do you have any questions?" They asked a couple questions. I pointed out a couple things. And then they were leaving at the end of the night. We're saying our goodbyes at the door, and my cousins look at me. My nephews look at me. They go, "Huh. I guess I'm a flat earther. I didn't even know that was a thing this morning."
Wow. That's why I love kids, because a lot of times they're like the most open-minded, and they want to engage with that theory and see where it can take them, and they're less scared of it. Uh-oh. I think I might have.
No, you're good. You froze for a second, but that's
hopefully other people can hear us.
Rattling.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of nice. And then they can go out, and their friends are often more open-minded too. But this derision that people have, and this sort of like anger and fear that they have about it, that's often like a huge stopping point. And I just feel like sometimes I almost feel bad presenting these ideas to people who are responding in that way, because I feel like I'm like actively harming them somehow, but like their reaction is so negative.
It's gotten to the point though where it's 2019, almost 2020 already. That's it. The globe is the embarrassing one. If you believe in the globe, if you believe in the rockets going to space, that's embarrassing. This year it's pivoting. It's already pivoted in my mind. And if that you believe, you keep it quiet, because it's very ridiculous and embarrassing. It just shows that you are not a thinking person, and the lies have gotten a hold of you. So this is one where everybody should be talking to somebody every single day.
Yeah.
And you can do it passively. You can just do it, like, oh, you believe that the space shuttle went to space, whatever.
Yes.
You just have to have a couple little points to throw out, and then you walk away.
Yeah. Well, so this is what I tend to find, is that people are either like, no, it's a globe, you idiot, and that's it. They just will not engage. They won't entertain any of the ideas that you bring up. They're not there to talk about it, and they don't care, and they're just going to like stubbornly like stick to that. Or people, I guess, like won't actually, once you start getting like a little bit of back and forth, they just respond with that emotional,
I say,
same sort of thing, like name calling and emotion, and then just shut down and walk away.
When they do that, I said, oh, thank God. You know what? Because this YouTube channel, these interviews I'm doing, it's really a weight on me. Can you just give me one proof that the Earth is a globe? Just one.
Just one.
I need one, not 50, not 10, not a dozen. I just need one. And I'll shut this whole thing down, because if there's one, then that's all I need.
Right.
And you get that look off into space. They have no idea. And then they'll come.
Because there are none.
They have their program responses. boats over the curve, sticks and shadows, you know, circumnavigation, falling off the edge. It's just like, it's exhausting.
Well, and the number one that I think most people do are like, why? Why would they lie?
Yeah, well, then they
That's
throw up
their
their hands.
evidence.
When you have an explanation for every question, every gotcha question, they throw up their hands. Why? And I try to avoid that till the end of the conversation. But
Yeah.
the answer is, what difference does it make? I still have to get up and go to work.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that part's true.
That's actually not as true as you think, because once you free yourself from the mind control and from the lies and claim yourself, you start claiming other things. And their wizardry doesn't work on you. They can't affect you. They can't trick you into all of these things that they trick us into. Just by knowing stops their magic.
I love that idea because I have never considered that. So what do you want to go into that and explain more what you mean?
So this world is not what we think it is.
Agreed.
Okay? It is, even the people that are awake, that, most of us, it's beyond what we even realize.
Right.
So, I don't know. Do you listen to Crow? You listen to Crow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he had, I forget the guy's name, that's talking about claiming your birth,
Yes, I love that.
From being born, from not from your birth, but
not even from
conception, from your creation.
Creation, right? Not even
you're
conception.
9 months older than you think you are. So mark
Yes.
your birthday. I think you have to mark the new moon next to your birthday, the closest to your conception day, and celebrate that day.
Okay.
And I feel that just by claiming that and realizing it, and you're not throwing that away and allowing them to give you a false label, a false birth certificate, a false entry into the United States corporation, just by doing that internally, their magic stops working on you. They're doing wizardry, witchcraft, whatever you want to call that nonsense. It's not nonsense. They believe it. And guess what? The world does work. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Yes.
That is the truth. And the thought is even mightier than the pen.
Yes.
Because your thought is just being translated into the pen. So what you think of, the things that you think affect your energetic field, and they can't get in. But if your energetic field is, I was born, in this hospital, I have a birth certificate, I have a social security number, I'm going to be hit by an asteroid or a nuclear bomb, I'm scared, I have to give up my rights.
Please protect me.
On their frequency, and they can voodoo you, they can use their wizardry on you. And it's people say, well, it doesn't matter. I still have to go to work, and it's too big. There's nothing I can do about it anyway. That's the trick. That's the psyop.
That is the trick.
That they have control over you. The only way they have control over you is when you give it to them.
Yes. I love that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting because we have this sort of echoed in mythology and the stories we tell each other for thousands of years or hundreds or however long it's been. But, this
150.
Yeah.
150.
This idea that you have to invite in the vampire, right? Or you have to agree to whatever. Even the idea where people talk about this is why they telegraph, false flags or
truth
whatever
in the
other
movies,
bullshit.
Lies in the news.
Yeah. Because then on some level we're agreeing with it tacitly, and that somehow gives it power. And so we have this embedded in a lot of different sort of ideas and stories and arenas that you do have to agree to that. So, and I always think of that too, the more you know your own power and your own worth, even if it's as simple as psychology, the less you're going to put up with, or the more you're going to act in a certain way that enables you to be more successful in the ways you want or whatever. So even if it's as simple as that, but I do actually think you're right, and that there is this literal magic or whatever you want to call that, witchcraft, or, it's a science. If you want to call it science, there seems to be very specific steps that they have to take to accomplish things. I think that's happening, and whether or not we want to believe it or not, they believe it, and that's what they're doing, and we see evidence of this in so many ways, especially in the ways that they use numerology and timing of their false flags and whatnot. So
it's beyond what I can even comprehend. In your chat, Russian Vids was there. I don't know if he's still there, but he you might want to speak with him. I'll connect you and see if he'll do your show. But
that'd be awesome.
he's the man with the numbers and the connections, and I've learned a lot of what I know from him.
Cool.
And others. So
yeah, and I apologize to people. I have one laptop and it's one screen, and if I had dual screens, I would be watching the chat at the same time. But you're seeing what I'm seeing on my screen right now, and that's how I have to do it for now.
Hey,
Russian vids, I would love that.
Yeah, people have been asking in the background here. This clock is made by flatearthclockshop.com.
Brad.
I have no affiliation other than he sent me a clock and I like it. And so if anybody wants one, flatearthclockshop.com. It's a great gift. It's another passive way. You put it on your wall. People are hanging out. They're like, that's really cool.
Well, that's...
And then you start talking about how the sun goes around, with the hour hand. And they're like, and you don't even mention flat Earth. It's great.
That's pretty cool. And is that like your app? Does it have the sun and the moon in different?
It just has the map and the hour hand with a circle on it that you can say is the sun. I had made those clocks originally, but I wanted the sun to move in and out, and I wanted another hand to show the moon. And so I looked at finding a clock gear mechanism that had a moon hand, which is just 4 minutes slower or whatever per day than the sun, and it was $250,000 to make a prototype.
What the hell?
So that's when I came up with the app and started doing the app, and the app is great.
That's pretty cool. Should we
with the app now? If I'm with somebody plane or whatever, I'll break it out, just look at it so they can see it, and everyone goes, "What is that? That's cool." And then I just show them how the sun laps the moon every 28 days. The stars lap the sun every year. And I don't even mention flat Earth. And they start asking more questions, where I can get it. What is it called? When they say what's it called, then I got to tell them what it's called.
Then you got to tell.
It doesn't even click, though. It doesn't click. And get it. And then it's like, watch the video every day. And that's when you get them.
I love that little function, too, of the video embedded in it. Should I show the video now so people can see the app?
Sure. I mean, I think most people here know the app. I don't think you have the video. Just show the app.
Okay.
But do you have the app and you get the notifications? Do you get the notifications?
I did. I got my first notification.
Oh, today?
Wait, why is yours going so fast?
I have it on time lapse.
Oh.
You can time lapse so you can see what's going on.
That's so cool. I love that the global weather is built in too. That was really neat.
That was an amazing find. That Dark Sky, which is the API I use for the weather, has a little hidden link about the Earth being flat. I mean, it's a hidden link. Somebody found it, and I was able to link it into the app.
That's rad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really cool.
And it shows you where the sun is on it and everything. It's like, I don't know.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know.
I mean, I was like, every day I get this little email that tells me like, oh, the sun is in this and the moon is in this sign. And so this is kind of what the day might be like. But now I can just look in your app and be like, oh, the sun is here and the moon is there. And it's in yesterday was, and maybe still today is like in Leo and Sagittarius. And, that's it's pretty neat to start paying attention to that.
The sun stays in the sign for almost a month and the moon changes every couple of days.
Okay.
So I'm trying to learn what that all means. I look at it. I don't know. Hey, getting back to the conception date. So you know how women's periods, women's cycles are related to the moon.
Yes.
And, if they're not taking hormones and disconnected from the earth and they're living a natural, healthy life.
Yes.
Tell me if this is true.
Okay.
And I believe it is, that women's periods sync up with the full moon. They're more closer to the full moon.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard the theory that the moon delivers souls and takes souls?
Yes.
Okay. So if women are having their period, is that politically correct?
I don't know. I would say period.
I'm going to say period.
Yeah, do it.
Can I say women?
No. Not anymore.
So if they're having their periods on the full moon, they're supposedly fertile for like 4 days a month, which is right around the new moon. The new moon is delivering souls, and the new moon and the full moon is the taking of the souls.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of this is true, but it resonates with me.
Well, And you're right. It's not every woman is having their period at the same time, but it does tend to follow the moon. It does tend to, like you're saying, if you're not stressed out, if you're eating healthy, if you're just kind of like a normal
Walking
person who's
barefoot,
like,
connected to the
yes,
earth.
grounding.
We have
and
rubber-soled shoes on.
yeah,
People they're all over the place. I think that people that I wonder if like women that live in the Amazon,
yeah.
these if they're all perfectly aligned with the earth. That'd be.
And
can somebody go figure that out, please?
yeah. Well, and they're all we know that women who spend time together end up syncing up, whether or not they're aligned with the moon, they end up syncing up with each other, which is like you'd think the worst inbuilt like destruction method ever. Like we're all gonna bleed at the same time. But it's interesting because back in the day, if it's true, you know, that we allegedly all like went to some sort of tent or something to have our periods, then we would all be there at the same time, and that would be our sort of like taking over the world meeting. Like, what are we going to do this month, ladies? Oh, how much evil would be done there. I'm just joking. So, I just like to joke about how women are worse than men, and we're emotional, irrational beings.
Getting back to the point of your thoughts, you know, your people's thoughts, people that are miserable, people that think that they're going to be broke, you know, whatever your thoughts are, create your world around you. You attract that, you know, and then the people that are broke, they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm thinking of $1 million, that I want $1 million. And what they're saying, I want $1 million, but what they're feeling is I don't have any money. I'll never have $1 million. And that's what they're attracting. So, you know, they say, don't put the cart before the horse. I say, put the thought before the cart.
Yes.
Okay. So it's what you think and what you feel. It's feelings and emotions that create the world around us. So if you're living in fear, that's it. You're bringing in fear.
Well, that's exactly what magic is. But to me, the basic, most simplest form of magic is that your thought aligns with your emotion and aligns with your action. And you can't lie about any of those things. Like, you can't lie about what your thoughts are, and you can't lie about your emotion. You can't make it up. It's either there or it's not, and then your action exists or it doesn't. So when those three things are lined up and they're all in truth, like, that is what you're going to create. And I think that you can experience this really simply, like, I practiced one day, or 1 week, I should say, where I was like, I have money. I have lots of money. It comes to me easily and from nothing. I just have money. And that week I found, like, I can't remember, you know, but like a $20 bill here and a $10 bill there and like, you know, another 20 over there. And it's like, that has never happened to me before, but it happened to me that week. So
and I think we're in a time of quickening where your thoughts create things even faster. So you really have to be careful what you think of. Hey, well, let me just say something. Can everyone in the chat please share this link, because there's 33 people watching for the last 10 minutes, and I'm going to be labeled an Illuminati shill, and so are you.
True.
So let's get a couple more people in here. RV, you might have to leave until someone else shows up.
Thank you. Yes, please share everywhere. Let's get as many people as we can.
Let's just get off of 33.
And I wish I could like see the chat too. Someday I'll get another screen, but yeah, and I think that that's a kind of scary prospect, that our thoughts could be created more quickly and more easily, because I think a lot of people have never considered that and are not ready for it. But it's really, really important to get clear. I would even go so far as to say like that not many people have even stopped and spent time to like listen to what their thoughts actually are. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like we're just so like distracted.
Thoughts are all over the place. Yeah. Right. And that's another thing with all the fluoride and the chemtrails and everything else. Our pineal glands, which are the transmitter of our thoughts, it's literally our Wi-Fi connection to source, is calcified. It's damaged. They've broken the connection. They've instilled us with fear. They have us watching the news. I don't think any of the people listening to this watch the news.
I don't think so either.
Like a couple of will turn on like 5 minutes and only make it like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, wow, that was like how it's like toxic when you watch it. Other people watch it all day and night. It's insane.
Yes, yeah, they literally never turn it on. That programming is literally programming them.
If I want something on in the background, I put on the Glowbusters 24/7 feed and just let that roll. It's like background news. And that's also another way people come in, they're like, what is this we're listening to?
I love it. So let's talk about the pineal gland, because I have this idea that our pineal gland is somehow connected to, it's like a direct connection to the sun as like an entity. And what do you think about that? And what do you even think the sun actually is?
Let me just say that I have no idea what those luminaries are up in the sky, but I sure have some ideas on what I like to think they are. I think that we're having a physical experience on this physical level.
Yeah.
Below us, just below 8 miles, below that impenetrable barrier, I believe is another much more dense realm. Some might call it hell. Seems like hell to me. I have no idea. And right above us are the non-physical heavens. I don't think that any of those lights that we see are physical. So, wherever that hard, fast barrier is, is the heavens above it, below it, it's above the earth plane. That's what I say. And there was a YouTuber whose name was Stars Are Souls, and that makes sense to me. That stars are souls, and and that the sun is the source. You want to call it God, you want to call it the Son of God. It is this. Imagine if the sun disappeared for a month.
We would die.
Okay, what would people say the day the sun arose? Oh my God, my savior.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Right? And everything you can say about the sun, I know people get mad at this, right? You can say about the sun and the SON, the SUN, it's the same. The sun, when you're at the beach watching sunset, it's walking on the water to you. You're having a personal relationship because nobody else can see that line to your feet. It brings us light. It warms our heart. It feeds us. It everything. The sun, and this whole thing, I really haven't looked into it, but how sun worshiping is bad.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't get it. I worship the sun.
Seriously.
And the fact that they say that makes me think that, there's another misdirection. There's more untruths being told to us than truths.
Absolutely. I think literally every single thing we can look at has been cloaked in untruth, and that's a really good sign of what we should be looking at. If they're saying like, don't worship the sun, you're evil if you do, you're like, well, maybe I should figure out what.
No sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all.
But have you ever done sun gazing?
Oh yeah.
And do you have experiences during those times?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But the problem is, in the last couple of years,
you can't see the sun.
You can't see the sun. It's just horrible. I'm down there, and it's just going behind this toxic mess.
Yeah.
And even I'm like, is it good that I'm looking at the sun through this?
Yeah.
When, the times you can see, and it's just so upsetting that I kind of stopped doing it unless I just luck out and it's there.
Right.
But when I go down to the Caribbean, I do it there. But when I started,
wait,
I
do
could
you
do
find
it for 10 seconds.
Really quickly, is the Caribbean have less chemtrails?
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe we should all move there.
I've actually, but literally the last 2 years are the only time that I've seen spraying down there, and it was very minimal. It was very minimal.
But it was happening.
Yeah, but it happened just when I tried to film Anguilla, which was 50 miles away, or St. Croix, which was 50 miles away. I got it the first day. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I'm going to go down and get it from the shoreline. And then they started spraying.
What the
and I'm
hell?
like, are you kidding me?
They knew
are
you were
kidding
there.
me? Maybe.
Well, what were you going to say about 10 seconds or something?
Oh, so when I started sun gazing, literally just minutes before sunset, 10 seconds, and it would hurt my eyes. I kind of have to look a little bit. And then I got it. So I'm like, okay, I could do that longer. And then I got up to the point where I could do it probably up to 2 hours before sunset on a clear day.
Wow. And
I could do it for, I would say indefinitely. The longest I ever did it was maybe, 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I also did it during the solar eclipse. We had like an 80% eclipse here, and we watched the eclipse. Now there was some bunch of chemtrails in the sky, which dimmed it a bit for us, but it was so funny watching people afraid to even glance at it. They're like, there's one woman, she has her reflective mirrored sunglasses, and she has them on the ground, and she's trying to take a video of the sun reflecting in her glasses, but she's afraid to look at the screen on her iPhone. Meanwhile, Paige and I are sitting there in lounge chairs staring at the sun without anything on our eyes. I'm like, you do see that we're staring at the sun. And she's like, oh, I don't want to go blind. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Dude, I would even wonder if some people have said that it can heal you from visual impairment. So it's almost like direct opposite of whatever they're saying.
Better, actually. Do it, eyesight gets better.
Your eyesight has gotten better from it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
I've only recently started needing reading glasses sometimes.
yeah.
And that's because of flat Earth, because I'm staring at my computer all the time.
Seriously, computers light is really damaging, honestly. If they're like wanting
Yeah.
to protect our eyes, they would fix that somehow.
Yeah.
I know the blue screen helps. I know there's something you can buy that like is it's like a visor you literally put over the screen, but nobody really.
I have a program that kicks in around early evening that turns the blue light off.
Yes.
And it fades it out. So that's pretty helpful.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
For my sun gazing, I've never done more than a couple minutes at a time, and it's like you said. I think like I can't find a time or a place where I can actually see the sun in that, because they say especially when you're starting, you're supposed to do like 30-degree when the sun's at a 30-degree angle or lower. And those times, like you said, are almost always chemtrailed out, and so I can't really even see the sun. But I did want to say my idea, which is untested and unproven, is that when the sun is coming through chemtrails, I think you can still get benefit from it, because my idea is that like if the sun is connecting with us in any kind of a physical way, it's through photons, and the photons are coming through the chemtrails too. And I would like to think they're doing it unharmed. And so I'd like to think there's still some benefit. I don't know. That's just my idea.
They told us about photons. I don't know if I believe in photons anymore. I believe that it's electricity that's coming from the sun, and we're electrical beings.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you had two plants and you put a fire in front of one of them and a fluorescent light next to the other one, one's going to grow, one will shrivel up and die. Okay. So there's light coming from the fire, but it's not that energetic light, energy. This is all about energy.
Yeah.
So when the electricity comes from the sun, you can capture it and harness it and channel it and use it.
True.
It also feeds us. So is that photons? I don't know. I don't believe they're lying about that also.
Now that you say it, like, why wouldn't they be? They literally lie about everything.
Yeah.
It's funny because the more, like, I've always said question everything, and I always think that I question everything, and then I always come to more things where I'm like, I've never actually, like, thought about that. Never asked myself that question. And that's actually how I came to Flat Earth, too, is I was like, well, that sounds like fucking retarded. But like, I say that I question everything, so I should at least look at it. And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I can't disprove any of this. And in fact, all these questions were really, really good. And one of the ones that really got me was I don't know why, but the flight pattern. I guess because I have flown on some of those flight patterns, and I'm like, why do they do that? It doesn't make any sense. Especially the one that's like, I forget which one it is, but it's like from the tip of Africa up to India and then down somewhere, and it's like, or something. I don't know. But they just like
the emergency landing from Bali to California, and the woman had a baby.
Yeah.
So from Bali, straight line over Hawaii to California. That's a straight line on the globe map too. Is it on the globe map? But they emergency stopped up in Alaska, which was farther away than anything. But on a flat Earth, that's a straight line.
And it should tell you something.
That's a killer one right there.
Yeah, that one's great. And it should tell you something, that the responses of like the accepted mainstream scientists are just not to disprove it or explain it away. They won't even explain away the ideas that flat Earth people are bringing up. They'll just like drop a microphone and like call you dumb, and that's supposed to be enough to convince you.
And they'll never address us directly. Neil deGrasse Tyson's been called out 100 times. Bill Nye, the science guy, or the lying guy. Bill Nye, the lying guy. They will not address us. They bring up the same, straw man arguments, dumb questions, and they'll never address us because they can't. I mean, I used to be like, I'm not gonna. If I get the opportunity to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm not gonna talk to him. It's all a facade. There's nothing. He's got nothing.
Would you talk to him now?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be rad.
He wouldn't talk to us.
He wouldn't. No.
He won't talk to any of us.
Well, he wouldn't get paid for it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you about your like life and your path too, and we kind of talked about the. Just that you looked at flat Earth, and that's kind of what got you into flat Earth specifically. But more specifically, like, how did you get to the point where you were questioning anything in the world?
Plug it in over there, please. I'm getting a power cord assisted.
Oh, that's very nice.
So
You have
what is
assistants.
I do?
Hello, assistants. I was just wondering, like, besides how you got into flat Earth, how did you get into sort of questioning anything in the world, really?
So the short story was thank you. We were talking about some of the lies of society. Hope that works. Yes. And we're, at my corporate job, and my buddy Tim, we would be in the lunchroom and we talk about the Federal Reserve and some other things that were going on. And more people gathered around every day. And then he said, hey, we have an opportunity. Good friend of his who is a comedian. There's a podcast lab in New York City that they're looking for an idea. And the idea was two truth seekers and literally a guy that makes fart jokes about, tries to blow up everything we say. And I agreed. We did it for 3 years.
I've heard that was a smashing success as well.
It was a heated nightmare. And people thought that we were acting, like I deserve an Oscar for that acting.
Nice,
we all kill each other sometimes. And then Flat Earth came up in the third year, and I would bring it up. I wouldn't get it, and I thought about it. They didn't want it on the show. They said it was. Then it kind of blew up the whole show. People were like, I can't deal with this. And we ended the show after 3 years, and I started the Flat Earth podcast.
Oh, wow. So you're on, so that fell apart? Like you're on bad terms with those people? Or it just was like not functional
No, it
anymore?
ran its course. It ran three seasons, 150 episodes.
That's a lot.
And yeah, it was a lot. And then we all kind of grew, and it's like, that's it. We're going this way. And these guys are listening to Flat Earth stuff now.
Awesome.
A lot of people listen quietly.
Yeah.
There's closet people. Like, I was posting about chemtrails for years, and people wouldn't, no likes, no comments, no nothing, right? And then, I've been doing it for years and nothing. And then one day, it was the 4th of July, we have a thing at the beach, and we're all hanging out, and the sun's starting to go down, and all of a sudden they came in spraying hard, and people that never once liked it, never once commented, never said anything, they're like, Dave, look, they're like, Dave. And I'm like, really now you're gonna, like, not one like, I just called them out.
Middle
of
the party.
But people are watching. So it's the same thing with the Flat Earth posts. Yeah. People are looking. I put little posts on my social media. People, you should not be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Put up something that can't be, that's just gonna plant the seed. Just put up something. Don't say anything about it. Just say, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. They deleted all of the tapes. $58 million a day, and they re-recorded over the greatest accomplishment of mankind.
Oh, that is the most bizarre one. I'm like, the moon landing, and they just say it's all gone. We don't have the technology. We don't have the tapes. We don't have the telemetry data. It's all gone. But they did call from the moon to the Oval Office. So just
Lindsay, have you seen my latest stuff on the space shuttle blimp?
No.
Yeah.
What is it?
The DITRH YouTube channel. It's Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. My YouTube channel. We've discovered that the space shuttle, the external tank, is a blimp, like a balloon. It's a balloon with helium. And we also realized yesterday on Globebusters that the space shuttle that goes up with that blimp is also a balloon. We found a dent in it, where it's just not fully inflated.
Oh.
But the magic trick of the balloon starts before the launch. They fly the plane from California, the space shuttle, on top of a 747, so everyone can see it. I think they might even stop a couple times, but it's on all the news. And then they transport the from a barge, to a truck, and then they, like a parade, an actual metal tank, a big giant metal tank, so everybody can see the arrival of the external tank. And then when they show the lifting of it and everything, then they clear out the place, they bring out the balloon, everyone has to be 5 or 10 miles away during the launch, and up goes the helium balloon with a little weighted bottom, maybe a little bit of thrust, and it goes out over the ocean, and they pop it.
So wait, So
It's a balloon.
you think there is actually an object up there and that people are on it walking around in it?
No, no, no.
In a
This
balloon?
is
Okay.
the space shuttle.
This is just the illusion.
And nobody's in it. That's the launch is the
Okay.
illusion.
Okay.
You're talking about the International Space Station.
Okay, sorry.
So-
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one because people say I've got the tracker and I've done it where
Yeah.
hey it's going to be
And then you
it's
see a
gonna show up,
light going in
and
the
you
real
see-
world. Yeah.
but you see
But-
a light that's brighter than any star.
That's
it's
true.
like the super. So how is that possible? Where is that light coming from? If you had a space station up there that was lit up with LEDs
Yeah.
at that distance, it wouldn't be that bright.
That's true.
But this is supposedly reflecting sunlight,
Yes.
right? And it's moving. That sunlight would be reflecting all over the place. You ever tried to
True. Yeah.
reflect sunlight on something really far away?
It's like
the
flashing.
tiniest movement, it would flash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
Makes no sense.
Right.
And then, the inverse square law of light, the angular resolution of the size of that at that distance. I've said this and everyone's heard it, but for those of you that haven't, a 747 at cruising altitude is the size of a pencil eraser held at arm's length, right? It's a little tiny dot in the sky, maybe even smaller.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's kind of gray because it's so much atmosphere. Even on a clear day,
Yeah, it's
you
thick.
can't really you can't even see the colors on it. It's kind of just gray.
Yeah.
If you doubled that distance, you couldn't see it, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because
It'd
it
be
went from a giant 747 to a tiny dot. If you doubled the distance,
It'd be
it's
even
gonna- any common thinking, common sense mind would say it's going to be dimmer and smaller. And you can't resolve it. The space station
Right.
is 50 times farther away. All
But
right,
we can
and
see
we
this
can see
bright-ass
this
light.
burning bright light. It's nonsense. So
Yeah.
people say, "What is it?" It's a luminary. I don't know. Maybe it's a god.
It could be artificial. It could be like a drone that flies around with a light on it that just keeps
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Though when they do the lunar transit and the sun transits, I think that is a trick. That's just a Apollo trick with a flying, some kind of drone, and they tell you exactly where it's going to be.
You're talking about
And,
when the eclipses happen?
No, when
No.
people
When something
there's
goes
a
in front of it.
tracker,
Right.
when it says the ISS will be passing in front of the
I
sun
see.
or the moon at this exact time. If you're
Those
in
are.
this path, you'll be able to see it. Well, that's done with a drone, an airplane.
Okay.
And if you follow all those paths, they don't continue, they stop. So like, why is it stopping?
Yeah.
Well, it's going for more fuel or whatever it is. Again,
So-
it's a series of polar tricks.
Yeah. So that so the luminary that's going across the sky that we are told is the ISS that we can track and we can see, you think that has been there for a long time?
Since-
That's just a part of the
since the 1980s. Maybe that's part of the returning of the gods. All of the wandering stars, they're all named after gods.
Yeah.
They're all named after mythical, gods.
Literally.
So stars are souls. The wandering stars are for lack of a better word. I don't have the right words
Right,
for all of this.
'cause we don't know what the hell it is.
And they're talking about the returning. All this biblical stuff says the returning of the gods. Well, maybe these luminaries are going to show up, and there's going to be more changes. People don't even know about this. They launched this thing a couple years ago called the Humanity Star. And there's a whole website about it that you're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to see it soon, and it's going to be flickering. And it's a star to remind humanity that we're all one and everything. But there's no publicity. This
What?
crazy satellite that they put up there, they called it the Humanity Star.
No.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Just Google Humanity Star. It might be humanitystar.com or .org or something. And no one's seen it.
No,
I think
I've
they're
never heard of it.
waiting. I think they're expecting another luminary to show up, another
Oh.
returning of whatever.
They're not quite
and when
sure
it shows
when.
up, yeah, and they're not sure when. So when it shows up, they'll be like, "Oh, that's just the Humanity Star. Check out the website's been up for years." And people will
Wow.
go, "Oh, yeah, that's what it is." So
Oh.
they're lining up their excuses
Yeah.
for stuff that is unexplainable.
Wow.
In the realm that they have us in.
That's creepy. So what so many questions. What do you think will happen when these gods or whatever they are do return?
It's happening now. Do
you think this is part of the wake up?
The world.
Yeah.
Look at the world since 2012.
been nuts.
2012 was the lifting of the veil,
Hmm.
and it's people are waking up. When you wake up in the morning, you're not your game. You're not all on your
Yeah.
game.
I'm
Right?
like,
You're a
what
little
universe
groggy.
is this?
Right. It takes you a while to wake up and start realizing what's going on.
Right.
Well, we were all fast asleep.
I
In
really
2012.
feel that way. I feel like the 80s
Right.
and the 90s were like this sort of fog. That's when I was a child. That was sort of this like fog, and that like, you know, I slowly have been like, oh, this is what's going on for my whole life. But
Right.
I just thought that's growing up.
Yeah. So people are waking up. People, the fact that people haven't seen that the rockets, large rockets, do not exist. They're all blimps.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
they're all balloons, and no one saw it until now. And I'm not the one that came up with this.
No.
Some other researchers were saying this a few years ago, but it just never went anywhere. But then finding more stuff, and people are now starting to be able to see. Check out the series on my YouTube channel and the playlist called NASA Fraud, NASA Fakery or NASA Fraud. It's near the top of the playlists, and I have 4 or 5 videos on it. Watch all of them. You'll realize how you'll be like, how did we miss this? It's like, how did we think that the Earth is a spinning ball? It's so obvious that it's flat and stationary.
Right.
I mean, who knows what it is, what the construct is, what's below it, what's beyond Antarctica?
Right.
We don't know, but we know it's not a spinning ball.
Yeah.
Is there a barrier? It sure appears to be. All the evidence says there is, and the laws of thermodynamics say that you can't have air next to no air.
Yeah.
So there's something to it.
There's something there.
And I say, clouds are responsible for some sprinkling, but not for the downpours that we have. The amount of water that comes out of a hurricane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been like, my whole life, I'm like, I think I'm pretty intelligent, but I don't fucking understand clouds and rain.
Right,
like, how does water
We're going to
float?
talk about clouds because I'm going on Jaranism Raw. Our show is in an hour and 15 minutes on Truth Frequency Radio. And I'm not allowed to talk about this, so I'm going to talk about it here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being censored by Jaron.
What?
Yes.
Censorship is bad.
Yes. Yeah. But think about this. When does it rain really hard? When there's a blank pressure system.
God, I don't remember which one. High or low?
Low
Okay.
pressure. Low pressure brings in. So what is holding the waters from the waters? High pressure.
Huh.
So you bring in a low pressure system and it lets the water come in. And then the
Oh.
wind distributes it. If you've ever been in a hurricane, rivers of water, when you're near the eye wall, rivers of water are coming in and they hit the eye wall and they disperse everywhere.
It's crazy.
And that's coming, in my opinion, from what I've experienced, and makes perfect sense, it's coming from the waters above.
Yes. And it would look like that. Like, if you could zoom out somehow and watch it happen from afar, if some water started falling, it like sprinkles and sort of like, dissipates or whatever into what we would experience as a rain cloud. That's fascinating because I've never thought about it that way, but I had this experience in Alaska a couple months ago, where I was in the heaviest rain I've ever been in. And I'm from the Pacific Northwest where it rains a lot. But this was hi kitty cat. This was the heaviest rain I've ever been in. And it was literally, I felt like just giant pools of water were being dumped on my van. Like the amount of water I've never ever seen. And so I'm sure that wasn't even as heavy as it can get. So I can kind of like relate to that idea that it's like coming from somewhere. It doesn't make sense to me that a cloud could float with that much water in it. Also, like I get that they're moisture, but I don't know. I'm glad that you said that because I feel less crazy now. But I also wanted to ask you about the idea of this sort of like second sun or these other bodies that people are seeming to see.
Crow and his crazy second sun.
What do you think about that stuff?
No, I actually, I totally, I'm only kidding, Crow. So I have a couple videos that show how the eclipse might work, where the sun and the moon that we see are not the real sun and the moon.
Huh.
It's behind the firmament, in the firmament, whatever it is, and it's being projected, for lack of a better word, into our reality. Okay, and it's because it's being projected, its position is unique to the viewer's position. So when you move closer to it, it moves farther away. And you can demonstrate this with a mirror and a reflection. So what was your question? I lost your question.
what you think that phenomena is that people seem to be seeing of this like other
Oh,
bodies in the sky.
So perhaps the real sun, when he catches it with those filters and takes enough light out of it, he's seeing the second sun is the real sun.
The actual source.
And that's behind the firmament. And that's the source of the projection that he's seeing. So during the eclipse, in the video I have is a couple people have filmed it where there looked to be a small little planet that was being eclipsed, you know, a small little circle that was being eclipsed just like the sun, right next to the sun. And it wasn't a lens flare. As you move the camera, the lens flares moved around, but that was locked to the sun. And so it didn't move. So the sun was blown out in the camera, but the lens, the little one that was being eclipsed was dim enough where you could see the perfect eclipse. And I believe that was the sun. And I demonstrated where I had a transparent piece of paper and I had a projector back here projecting. So from your point of view, you can see the sun right here. And so then I go like this with another circular body, and I made the sign, everybody.
Now we're gonna
and so I make another circular body, and it eclipses the projection that's coming through. So you have this circle here, and when I block the projector, the second sun, it eclipses this, and you can never see this body approaching or leaving because it's a dark body and it's behind the sky. So check that out on my channel, DITRH, the eclipses playlist. And there's 2 videos with, you'll see like a paper towel wall. And it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's the truth, but it works. Yeah. Makes sense. It explains why nobody anywhere from ever has seen the sun, has seen the moon approach the face of the sun, or exit it. You can't see it. That makes no sense whatsoever.
That's another one of the things that if you bring up to a globe earther or someone who wants to hold on to that view of this reality, that they just won't respond to it because they can't.
So is it the moon that's behind the sun that's actually eclipsing it? Maybe, or maybe it's K2 or Rahu or whatever, but it's not in front of the sun. It's behind the sun. Okay.
Maybe it's the real moon.
The real moon, right, behind the sun. And who knows? The thing is taking souls, delivering souls, blocking the sun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So what do you think about the moon then? Is it like an artificially
cheese.
What?
It's cheese.
It's just cheese, yeah.
It's just cheese.
We'll just
it makes a lot more sense than what NASA's telling us.
A really nice snack.
If you had to choose, gun to your head, the moon's rock, a cheese.
You broke up a little bit there, but I think you're telling me that I have to choose between rock and cheese. Can I not choose option
I would
3?
just say shoot me. I would just say shoot me.
This isn't
if I had to pick, I would just be like, okay, cheese, shoot me.
Right. Well, then there's that. Recently, they said there was a piece of the moon somewhere, and they tested it, and it wasn't from the moon. It's like, that's because they're.
Oh, the rock. The rock. It was petrified wood.
Yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense because there's trees on the moon.
Yeah, exactly. It is a tree.
So think about that. Did they do that on purpose, or did they not realize that rocks were organic things? Have you seen Stellenium? See, you got the worst name, Mike. Stellenium 7 channel.
No.
On the Titans.
No.
On my YouTube channel again. It's called In Search of a Titan. God, I don't even know the names of my. It's just something about Titans. And he found a mountain that looks like an elephant. Okay, all right. You could find shapes and everything. And but then they went like into the eye, the cave that was the eye, and all of the curves and pathways were there. And coincidence that just everything lined up. The trunk and then the rocks were red on the inside, and it's beyond coincidence. He has a series of 5 or 6 videos.
Wow.
You watch the first one, you're like, okay, he's just seeing things.
Right.
Interesting. And then you watch the next one and you're like, nah, it can't be. Right. And then you watch the third one and you go, motherfucker.
Yeah,
and then you watch the fourth one and you go, I can never go outside again. The world has changed. And then you watch the fifth one and you're like, you don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
Watch those videos. They're like
Okay.
20 minutes a piece. In Search of a Titan, I think it's called, or whatever. And you know that now, anytime I look at a rock, rocks aren't what we're told. They're like, he's finding these rocks in riverbeds that are hearts. They're actual hearts.
Wow.
And they have the holes, the ventricles, and everything, and they're shaped like there's like rock after rock after rock is shaped like a heart, giant hearts, little hearts, and then
you're not talking about like a heart. You're like, it's a heart beating heart.
Like a heart. Like he's a doctor.
Heart.
He's a doctor, and he's showing us the anatomy of these things. These are not coincidences.
Yeah.
And I don't even like talking about this stuff with flat earthers because it you know, just like when you talk to a globe earther, tell them the earth is flat, they're like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Flat earthers do that on this topic.
Yeah.
So I just say, when you're ready, take a look at that and make it through the first 4 videos, and then your life is fucked. I'm
literally going to do that after this because I've never seen that or heard of that. Is this any connection to mud fossil?
There's a lot to it, you know.
Similar.
Like they say that some mountains are trees.
Yeah.
Well, some mountains are trees. Some mountains are titans.
Like,
you know,
falling
some mountains
over.
are people. I mean, it's insane.
It's crazy. So like something would have had to happen to instantly fossilize everything or something.
I have to calm down because this is sounding crazy. Hey, Rose.
I love this though because I don't know, because I went to Devil's Tower recently for the first time, and it is impossible to be there and not think about like, this looks like a fucking giant stump, and like, why isn't there?
People say, where are the roots?
Under us.
Yeah, they're under it.
Right? Like, and we won't know. We don't know because we're not down there, but like, that's where they would be. And like, and they're like, well, where are the other ones? I don't know. Well, why aren't there other ones? Like, there should be others no matter what it is. No matter what it is, there should be more, and there's only one. I don't know why there's only one left.
I forget the name of the channel. There's this guy that's going out there filming all of these rock formations, showing how they're just decaying cedars. They're giant cedars that are decaying. And, you know, when you see these rocks with these straight edges, well, that's how these cedar trees, they break apart with straight edges. And
they do.
It's incredible. And but his videos are 12 hours long. And I've been telling him, you got to put out some 20 minutes, 20-minute videos.
Yeah. People need little chunks unless they're in it for just hanging out or whatever, which is not that often. But yeah, that's going to be cool to look into. I like that. And I just
Stellenium 7 is the YouTube channel.
STILL? Stellenium?
ELLIUM. I don't know. Something like a Stellenium 7. But just go DITRH, my YouTube channel, find the playlist, and just scroll down. It's probably 10 or 15 playlists down called In Search of Titans. Whatever it says Titans.
Hey, I can relate.
Stuff.
My pen name is pretty bad too. Corey Sharman. People are like, what? They're like, can you spell that?
And so since he started doing this, you go on Google Earth, go to the mountain. He lives right near this mountain. So he's gone up the mountain and gone in the caves and, you know, in the eye socket, in the ears, and all of the tubes are there. But Google Earth closed the eye. They did it. So it's like, it's when you're looking at it, you can't see the eye. They put rock over it. Not until you zoom all the way into a certain level does it open all of a sudden.
That's crazy.
Why are they hiding it?
Why are they hiding
it? They're hiding flat Earth. You know, they're hiding all of this truth.
Yeah.
And making us look crazy. And here I am ranting about mountains or trees and titans and people. That sounds crazy.
It's the same thing though. Like, it's the same thing as when you thought that you would never be someone who would even consider flat Earth, and when you look into it, you're like, well, I can't like deny this now, you know. So why not look into, if you think this is crazy, look into it, and then so you can easily dismiss it once you can prove that it's not what, you know. It's like, there's no reason. This is when people would get upset, like the whole world's going crazy and they're anti-science and everyone's getting dumb and this flat Earth thing is gaining power. And I'm like, you can't look down on people for questioning. In fact, you should celebrate that people are questioning anything and that they're willing to go look into it and try to prove or disprove something, because that in itself is valuable no matter what conclusion they come to. And you yourself would benefit by going and looking into it that way to try and disprove it, you know. But if you want to just dismiss it with derision, then there's nothing anyone can do for you.
It's so sad that there's so many sleeping people in this world that just want to remain asleep. They don't want to wake up.
No.
They don't care, and they've thrown their lives away. They've disregarded their gift of this experience, and they've fallen for the wizardry of these psychopaths that have taken charge.
Well, and it's interesting because the motivation behind that is that it's easier. It's easier to just go along with it, and it's easier to accept it, and it's easier to let the government take care of you, I guess, or whatever. But in reality, when you do wake up and you do start asking questions and it does change your world, that's actually easier. It's easier to live, I think, with your eyes open and with, taking control of your own life and recognizing your own sovereignty and empowerment. That actually feels better, more, it's more fulfilling. I think that is easier, but it's like this deception that it's easier to just go along and give in. It's really effective, but in itself is an illusion.
There's so many things that we think we need to do to comply where we don't. And I'm just still learning.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So what we kind of touched on, what the motivations of whoever's pulling this off is, but let's get more into that if you don't mind. Like, what is the motivation for convincing us all that this is a globe plane and all of that?
Control. It's control. I was an atheist. I didn't believe that there was a God. I believed that we, as I summarize, nothing exploded, and then lightning struck and created an amoeba that made it and became a fish that grew legs, that climbed out of the water, found another fish that climbed out of the water, had sex, had a monkey who had a retarded baby that became a human.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the story.
Okay? So I believed all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm here, and then I die. I become dirt.
Nothing.
And it's all about me. That's live and do the, take charge of the world for yourself. And that's what they want. They want people believing that they're powerless, lost, and godless. And then when you discover that the earth is created and that you are the center of this creation, everything changes. So if people woke up to the flat earth, then they wake up to the creator, and then the Jesuits, people that are running this world, lose power. They've lost power over me. And just by being aware, I do not consent. And they're feeding off of our energy. We don't realize that this is an energetic world of electricity and magnetism and thought, all of these energies. Yes. And you harness the sun's energy. Well, they're harnessing our energy. They're harnessing our fear energy. They're taking our energy from us. And I thought about this the other day. Like, why don't they just come and kill us? The ones that they don't like, get rid of us. Kill us.
That's the question you have to come to eventually.
They can't. They can't, because they know the karmic, what that does. It doesn't work. You are not allowed to take another life, but they can convince us to take other lives.
Yeah.
Like, if they convince me to join the army, go over and fight another army and kill people, that's on me. That's not on them.
That's true.
And so they can't do anything to us. Crow talks about, the maritime law and who you are and your straw man. And I'm still trying to sort all of that out. I understand the concept, and it's painstaking to listen to that sometimes, but I listen to it again and again and again, and all of a sudden it starts clicking.
Yeah.
And when it clicks, it changes your life. It changes your power. It changes who you are. So, and then I find, when I did the Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, I had, I called it Connecticut, the event. Oh, am I good? Am I there?
Yeah.
The event in New York and the event in Boston at the running race.
Yes.
I don't want to say these things.
Right.
And I figured wake people up to those three events, any one of those, and they'll start to see. And it was semi-effective, but noticed people woke up to them and went back to work and didn't really, they're like, okay, they got away with this. But then when the flat Earth came around, that changes everything. The flat Earth affects everyone every day, everywhere.
Especially the why. Because then eventually people are like, why?
And
why would they do this?
And then when they realize what it is, the flat Earth is what's going to wake people up. And my goal for 2020 is to get on as many non-flat Earth shows. No offense.
Yes.
Happy to be here. Happy to be on a flat Earth show, but non-flat Earth shows.
Well, this is not actually a flat Earth show.
Right. But you're awake. You want to go? Earth. I want the people that ask me the flat Earth 101 questions.
Yeah.
They're like, what about this? They got the gotcha questions because their audience is the same way.
That's true.
Everyone listening knows the Earth is flat.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a couple out there that don't, but
okay,
they're pretending.
But they're waking up, and so my goal is to get on these shows. So anybody out there, if you're watching a talk show, they're talking about whatever, they're hearing flat Earth, they're getting pinged flat Earth. Pitch me, give them my email address. You say, hey, you got to have this guy on. It'll be your biggest show ever. And these shows, when I'm on, it is their biggest show. It doesn't even have to be me. Put anyone else on, anyone else you want. But give them the contact information or send it to me. My email is info@theflatearthpodcast.com. Let's get out and reach new people.
Yes.
That's the goal, to get on these mainstream shows. When I say mainstream, I'm not going to be on Good Morning America. I'm not going to be on CNN. Or who knows? Actually, I was on CNN.
Wow, really?
A written article. And it wasn't even that bad. That was crazy.
And they didn't malign you?
For CNN, I'll give them a C+.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
It
wasn't horrible.
Wow.
And it was the #1 hit on Google when you search flat Earth.
Wow.
For several weeks.
That's pretty
good. The conference. Yeah.
This is why there's got to be enough people who are working in these systems of power that really are just kind of like stooges. They don't really know that the agenda or that they're a part of it, because things like this do get through sometimes. And it's like, the powers that be wouldn't let it if they had complete control and if every single person was like in on it and like you know what I mean? Like there's enough little holes in the structure that we can get some things through.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous people out there that are awake to the flat Earth. Some of them have talked to some of us, and we're not allowed to release their names yet. But they're there, and they're like, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. They haven't come out. David, not that he's that famous, but David Avocado Wolf. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah,
he's a great speaker for flat Earth. I actually put one of his videos, one of his great speeches on the app recently, and a lot of people hadn't seen it. That's something else I want to talk about. YouTube's hiding it. Like, you search flat Earth on YouTube, you get nonsense. You get all of the hit videos, or
you get debunks.
If somebody says, "Hey, send me a moon landing video," a moon landing spoof video. So you send them a great video. The next video up from YouTube is the opposite. Is the Nat Geo whatever nonsense where they're just coming at you with garbage. So that's why the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, it has a daily video. You watch that video, and the next 10, 20, 30 that it will auto play are all good videos because they're in playlists.
Yes.
So I give people the Flat Earth challenge. If you're not a flat earther, get the app.
Yes.
Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, and just watch one video a day. A new video will pop up. You get a little push notification telling you what it's about. Watch that video. Short ones during the week, long ones on the weekends. Longer one, usually, sometimes short. And 2 weeks, and you're done. The ball is dead.
Yes.
But you have to be willing to just take that step. Listen, watch, and
actually listen.
And get it. Yeah, listen, think. The problem is, start drinking distilled water. It helps uncalcify your pineal gland.
Yes.
And then you can start thinking. I've actually had friends that I couldn't wake up to anything, but they were having health issues, and I got them on distilled water. And then a month later, they're like, holy crap, 9/11. What the hell is going on?
Really?
And I'm like,
so you've seen this in real time.
I've seen it. Like,
wow.
I'm like, really? Now? Now they're like, yeah, I just realized. And I'm like, how much distilled water are you drinking? And they were drinking it exclusively, but the distilled water pulls the toxins, the calcium out of your pineal gland.
Doesn't that just also show you how amazing our bodies are, that we can be drinking fluoride our whole lives and like poisoning the fuck out of ourselves, and then just a little bit of a break in a window of health and our body's like, yes, I can do this, like I'm awake.
It's just like the earth, it just heals itself.
Yes.
Gro was saying, like an oil spill, it's the worst thing ever. No, it's not. It's natural. Give it 10 years, 20
back,
years,
yeah.
and the earth is going to eat it back up, and all is well.
It's even
Throw
like
some mushroom spores on it, and it's all better.
It's even like I see some like crazy looking rocks every once in a while that I'm like, I wonder if this was like
hearts?
million years ago, and like the plastic and garbage from like some landfill got like condensed into this like beautiful rock now, and this is the
if you look at
final
these
product.
rocks, they're tissue. They're like they're living tissue. Lots of these things. You look at them, you'll watch those videos.
I want to
unveiling a Titan is the name of the list.
I'm literally going to watch it after this because my friend Derek Murphy, I don't know how many people here are familiar with him. He's got awesome ideas about water and river and portals and stuff. And he's onto this Titan thing lately. And so I would like to watch it and send it his way.
So we're 90 some odd % water.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So we're water. Water is another hoax. It's a lie of what it really is. Did you know that you can store terabytes of information in like a drop of water? I don't know how they do it, but water holds information. You've seen Dr. Emoto, where you take water and they put like a rose petal in it, and then they freeze the water, and it's like crazy fractals, and
that's awesome.
And so water that's going through a natural brook, and it's picking up all of this life energy and whatnot. Where was I going with that? It was so water in our physical body, this physical water, is our life essence, because without water, we're dead.
Yeah.
Our brains are water. It's like all this information is stored in the water. Well, in the heavenly, non-physical realm above us, we have these clouds that are mostly water.
Yeah.
Right. And if you ever watch like the cumulus clouds on when there's no spraying, they're like morphing inside, and they're traveling, and sometimes there's another layer going another way. Wind currents, of course. But you ever wonder why is there a sharp edge to it, and the next one starts over there, and the next one's over there?
That's what I'm saying.
Are they sentient? Are they angelic in nature?
Wow.
Okay. Are clouds angelic? But then all of a sudden you'll watch the spraying come in. And maybe the spraying is it isn't about weather and poisoning us. It's about attacking
those beings,
these angelic entities above us.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the spray, the clouds just dissipate. They end up morphing and turning into these, long, stretchy things, and they just become a slurry. Maybe there is a epic war above us right in front of our eyes on a daily basis.
God.
Pop that into your mind the next time there's good cumulus, beautiful clouds, and all of a sudden the spraying comes in, which will be inevitable sometime during the day, and then watch what happens to those clouds, and you'll cry. It
makes me so sad to even think about. I've never considered that, and I just used to, when I was a kid, spend so much time looking up at the sky, and it was clear blue, and there'd be clouds, and sometimes cirrus, and sometimes cumulus, and sometimes stratus, whatever, but they were always fun to watch and always beautiful, and I never ever see it anymore. I only see chemtrails. Like I go outside every day and look up, and I'm like hoping that this is the day that the sky is clear or that there's real clouds, and I never see them.
So I try to put my GoPro camera on my roof and film when the sky's blue in the morning and they're just starting to spray. But when I put the camera on the roof, they stop spraying.
Really?
It's every time.
So then all we need to do is put cameras on our roofs.
Well, that's what they say. I don't know. It's just a coincidence. Like I actually did get some heavy spraying the other day. I actually put a video on my channel, DITRH. You can check that out. It's a fast time lapse of half the day. So.
Man, it would be neat to have days without spray. I'm happy that you have that. I honestly started to get really paranoid and think it was just me because I just moved from the Pacific Northwest to Colorado, and up there was heavy spray all day every day, and it was driving me insane. And I moved here, and at the very beginning there was a few days where I was like, oh, it's not heavy spray, and that's pretty cool. And now it's heavy spray every day, and I'm like, dude, I mean, I know it's not me, but like, I wonder if they're stepping it up like worldwide, or I don't know. That'd be the.
You know what's funny is that it could be spraying for just ever, and then there's 2 days where they're not spraying, and everyone's like, "It's over," you know, they're like,
Yeah.
"It's over." You're like, they're not spraying. What are you talking about? You know, and it's just like people just have so short term of a memory of what the heck is going on.
That's true.
It just really saddens me that there's so many people that don't give a shit.
Yeah. Or that won't just look around or use their senses or think or engage in conversations about what actually matters and what's going on in life, you know, and would rather just talk about football and drink beer. And not that there's anything wrong with football and beer. If that's what you need to unwind, like that's
There's
rad.
plenty wrong with it.
Yeah. But like, you know, you could probably do that and be like happy.
I was a huge Jets fan for many years. I had season tickets, and two reasons. I realized I woke up to the deceptions of, you know, stadium play, you know, just distractions, and it was the Jets.
And you're like, well, this is boring now that I have way cooler things to think about. Right?
Right. There's so many more interesting things. And every day you learn something new. It's like, what's next? And then I'm careful not to say that.
Oops, lost you. I bet what you're saying is you're careful not to say that because you don't want something to be next. Because whatever they have in mind is probably awful. But it'd be neat. It'd be neat if I didn't have pop-ups that showed all the time and if the internet could work. And then I wonder if the stream is showing both of us or mine still says it's offline. Am I still streaming? Still streaming. I don't know. I both don't know what you guys are seeing. Oh no, he's gone. Maybe he'll come back. So I still had a few more things I want to ask Dave. But I'm also going to see if I can find you guys in DLive. Maybe my phone will show me. Maybe not. It's amazing how few things work once you start live streaming. They'll work great until then. The other thing, I'll just rant if you guys are still listening and you can hear. My camera, this computer I'm using is pretty new. It was kind of expensive. And, oh, I think Dave's back. You're back.
I'm back.
Yay.
There
I was going to
go.
rant about how annoying cameras are, but I forgot what you were saying when you got cut off. It's something about football or the
That
Jets
doesn't
or
matter.
yeah.
I'm over it.
whatever. I did want to ask you what types of things you are working on currently or coming up, or what you kind of hope to move towards, if anything.
The thing I'm working on, you know, when I'm not working my real job, is just doing more shows. I want to get out on shows. I'm actually on a big show, the Anthony Camilla show, coming up in a couple weeks. I'm on Chris Jericho coming up right after New Year's, and I'm trying to just get on more shows because the faster we wake people up, the faster we can stop the nonsense that's happening.
It does feel like it's picking up speed, and I never know if the things I'm perceiving are literally just my perception or if there's actually something happening, but it does seem like more people are waking up, and that it's going faster and faster all of the time. So I like that, you know, the more people we can reach, the better. And it is interesting. I've never really considered that flat earth is kind of like the key deception to unlocking all of the rest, but I definitely am starting to think that that's probably true. Especially because to me, this is a spiritual battle. Like no matter which aspect of it you're looking at, the key to it is like literally within yourself and you know, how you feel about what you are and I guess where you are. So,
And who you are.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that given all of the things that we can experience as a human being, that there's something more to us, that we don't just disappear at the moment that our body stops, you know, transmitting our consciousness or whatever. So yeah, there's more than that going on. But I also wanted, you've mentioned your channel a lot, DITHR, down in the rabbit hole.
No.
DIT,
Deep inside the rabbit hole.
deep inside the rabbit hole.
DITRH. Worst name ever.
DIT.
Not as worse as Flat Earth Japan, Banjo, Brazil.
Not as bad as Corey Sharman. It's hard though. You choose a name because it resonates with you, and then it's not always easy to spell or easy to remember. But
Deep
down in the rabbit hole.
Deep inside the rabbit hole. Deep inside the rabbit hole. DITRH.
It's awesome, and I'm gonna
all short videos. It's all short videos for people like me.
Yeah,
you know, short attention span. You know, and because
perfect.
You're trying to wake someone up to Flat Earth, they're not going to watch a 2-hour video. No. They're not going to watch. You know, give them a 2-minute video, and then give them a 3-minute video, then a 5-minute video.
And you have
video.
And you have
what? I'm here.
Okay, sorry. And you have playlists that people can, like you were saying, get in, so you're not just like, you know, sent off to some other bullshit video after they're done with that.
On the app, you know, if you're showing somebody something and they're asking a question, just go to the FAQ page on the app, and there's playlists on there of videos that answer those top 21 questions. If somebody says to you, "Hey, send me a video on XYZ," put the video in a playlist. You know, make yourself a playlist on your channel. Put your top 10 Flat Earth videos in it, okay? Anytime somebody says, "Hey, send me a video," add that video to the top of the playlist, click the video so it starts playing, and then take that URL and send it to them.
Smart.
And it's still, you're sending them that one video. But if they don't, on the right will be all of the other videos, and that will auto play, even if they don't have auto play on.
That is really, really smart.
Yeah, so always send them a playlist. Otherwise, YouTube's going to butt in there and stick in nonsense.
Yes.
Because they are part of the deception.
Well, and honestly, anybody can make a playlist. So that's something that anybody listening could do, is go out and make a playlist of any topic that you're interested in that you might want to share with people, whether it's, you know, the events in Boston or whatever, you know, those types of things, whatever it is, because anytime someone watches a video, like you're saying, they're going to start sending them right after that to something that debunks it or that gives the mainstream line or kind of tries to draw them away from that line of thinking. So that's a really smart idea to share the playlist. I like that. Good tip.
And I'm reading the chat. Rose is saying, for the Flat Earth app haters, check out the Stars playlist. I agree with the second part of that. Check out the Stars playlist. But there's no such thing as an app hater.
Yeah,
Everyone loves it. Even the ballers love it.
Seriously,
loves it.
The app is so simple and so easy to use and so full of awesome information that if anybody out there is wondering, like, buy it, what is it, $2? It's really cheap.
$2.99.
That's really
$2.99.
That's a pretty awesome deal.
Google Play and Apple, and there's no fees. There's no pop-ups, ads. There's nothing.
And it's beautiful. And you can even add your own pictures, can't you?
You can.
Yeah,
that's cool too. You can put your own backgrounds. You can customize the way it looks. Even if you just use it for the daily weather in the morning.
Yeah.
But the world weather. I love the world weather.
That
the
one's
Flat Earth
cool.
World weather. World weather.
Yes. I really like it. Yeah, I don't know if you can still hear me.
Hey, I can. You know what? Hold on a second. I'm just going to switch Wi-Fi.
Okay. Yeah, mine likes to just tell me, your internet connection is poor. And I'm like, well, it's the same internet connection I always have. And also, I can tell. You don't need to pop up and tell me that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
It's, honestly, like anytime I try to do anything, if I'm not doing anything important, everything works fine. And then as soon as I try to do something, like we were just getting ready for this stream and my camera just stopped working for the first time ever. I was like, of course, right when we're about to start.
Am I back?
You're back.
Am I here?
You're here.
I'm here.
You're here where we can see you, hear you, and you're not jittering around, which is nice. So where else? Is it your YouTube mainly that you're going to send people to, or is there anywhere else that people should go?
The Flat Earth podcast. We haven't done many episodes lately, but if you haven't listened to them, they're good. You know, traveling when you're driving, you can listen to it. But it's all, the app is where I'm putting, you know, I'm picking the best videos every day. You know, what's on the tip of everyone's mind. So people are talking about circumnavigation times, and other times they're talking about this. So I'll put videos on what's hot, or just the latest good videos, or classic old videos. So it's great to, If you can convince somebody that's not a flat earther to get the app and just say, do the challenge, watch one every day, because you'll tell people, hey, watch these videos, and then they forget. But if they have the app every morning, it's like ping. It's like, oh, maybe let me watch that video. You click it, and that's it. Then you realize that that you don't live on a ball.
Yes. I want, actually, randomly, do you think that this entire plane is constructed for us as a trap, or do you think this plane was created for some other reason or by something else, and it's just been sort of co-opted and turned into this prison?
I think you're going to have to ask Crow that question.
Damn
knows.
it.
He knows. He knows, but he only tells people in hour 2. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to get hour 2, because he can answer that.
It is a worthy subscription to have, definitely. In fact,
it is unbelievable. I tell people, binge on Crow. Matter of fact, I think I'm the one that turned Owen on the Crow.
Nice.
And because he was asking me about vaccines and nukes, and I gave him the Crow stuff, and he subscribed. And I think he's like, binge watched everything. If you start at the beginning, this is what I tell people to do. Start at the beginning and start at the current one. Listen to the current one, and then for the rest of the week, work your way up. And by the time you get to real time, where you've caught up on everything, you're a different human being.
For real. I haven't even read. I haven't even listened to all of them myself. Definitely, like, I'm not even close. But
I've listened to every single one.
That's awesome.
And there was only 2 that were like meh.
Meh. Was it my episode?
Yeah. Were you on Crow?
Yeah.
Then I didn't even realize that was you.
That's probably the one.
No, I think it was mine and Flat Earth Man.
Yours.
Yeah, Flat Earth Man. I'm like, well, he's such a...
I forgive anyone who likes my episode on Crow the least, because it's the least, like, fitting in the rest of his narrative. It's just me talking about education.
They're all good. They really are all good. He does a good job because he's got that focused, think for himself attitude.
Yes, and he's very blunt and thoughtful, and I love anyone who's willing to focus on evidence but also be skeptical about what evidence is actually evidence or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, being a combination of open-minded and skeptical is my favorite thing that you can be, because that's a fully thinking human right there. So yeah, I love Crow. I like that this became a commercial for Crow too. Lindsay's out there, like, Rose is celebrating in the comment section. What else was I going to ask you? Well, I'm just going to ask you then, what are your final words of wisdom that you want to say to people listening out there? If you have any advice for them, or just kind of final thoughts that you want to leave people with.
My final thoughts are, enough's enough. This is it. There's no more time. Cut the crap and start talking to people. Just treat them like they treated us. Okay? Flat Earth is insane. Well, guess what? The globe Earth is 1,000 times more insane than Flat Earth ever was in anyone's mind. It's crazy. Show people, wake them up. Do what you can. Do it passively. And the app, even if it wasn't mine, I'd be pushing the app.
Yeah. The
app is the best way, because everybody every day clenches their phone. They have their phones tied to their hands mostly, right? It's a crutch. It's a horrible thing. It's also a useful tool, and just convince them, especially if they're your friends, convince them, just watch the app every day, play with the app a little bit, see how it works, show them how the sun migrates in and out, and just watch one video a day. YouTube isn't going to feed you those videos anymore, and the app does. So the app didn't originally have the videos, but I added that when the apocalypse came. And I think it's the best reason to get the app is for the daily videos. And then what I do is I give people the challenge. I say, do it for 2 weeks and you'll know that the Earth isn't a globe. And I get email like 3 days later, like, yeah, I couldn't wait. I hit the archive button. I watched everything, and holy crap, you've ruined my life.
You've ruined my life.
My wife, my husband thinks I'm insane because I think the Earth is flat.
Bring your husband or wife with you. Go down the rabbit hole together. It's more fun with friends.
Deep inside the rabbit hole.
Yes, deep inside the rabbit hole. It is like waking people up is the best thing you can do for sure, and get more and more people to go and look at it themselves and then spread it to other people. It is hard to do. Shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, Damn it. Gotcha.
Damn it, Sam.
it's really it's so nice having Wake friends. You know, we're all in this chat. You know, these are our friends. We're all friends. Okay. And when I went to the conference, amazing. You know, you're around all these people.
So nice.
It's time to surround yourself with people on the same frequency and expand that. Here's the thing. I always say, you know, two people together, if you're a flat earther and they're not, it ain't going to work out so well. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you're the glober, you have no hope in converting your flat earther back to the globe. If you're a flat earther, there's a good chance you can convert the glober over. And if you can't, you don't want to be with that person anyway, because they're either retarded or don't respect you.
Yes.
Okay? So the ball's in our court. It's in our favor. This is our time. There's nothing better than being a flat earther right now. Okay? Because the world, the opportunity out there is insane. It's the flat earth target market, if you want to look at it, you know, in those terms, is every single person on earth.
That's true.
Without exception. Right? There's no other market, there's no other thing that has that many potential clients, potential customers. Okay?
It's absolutely true.
It is the greatest place to be. And if you live and breathe that, you're going to create more flat earthers, right?
It's
and if you're young and married, make some flat earthers, is all I would say.
I love it. It's like any good religion. They're like, go make babies so there's more of us. But why do I keep losing my train of thought? Anyways, whatever I was going to say is gone. But I remembered the earlier one that I lost, which was, what did you mean when the apocalypse came? Are you talking about the censorship overload sort of?
The when YouTube just started hiding everything. You know, people say, what do you mean the earth is flat? Just go on YouTube, search flat earth, and bam, and then click newest, you know, and everything you'd find like videos uploaded by new channels that are awesome. Now you click flat earth, you sort it any way you want. It's garbage. It's all total garbage.
Even if I go into YouTube and I type in Rogue Ways, for some reason, especially the episode with Freeman Fly is lost to searches.
Is Freeman a flat earther yet?
I don't think so. No.
He's the hardest holdout.
Yeah, he really likes space and I think Glover.
It's so sad.
It is not gonna last. Maybe we'll see.
One of the go-to videos that I always, you know, I even made a billboard was ODD's 21 Questions, and the name of his video is A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions by ODD Reality. You type that exact thing into YouTube, exact title and channel name, it's on like page 5.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. I'm not even joking you. I typed in Rogue Ways, Freeman Fly. I even typed in other things after that to try to see if that would help. I would scroll down like 10 pages and still didn't see it. It's my own channel.
Yeah, and then and I have videos that literally disappear. Like I can see them on my channel, nobody else can see them. They're gone. They're like shadow banned or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to, you know, I have to re-upload them with a new name, and sometimes I even change the video a little bit. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're hiding, you know, the videos that are making the difference. They don't care about us because we already know that the earth is flat. Let us keep talking to each other.
Yeah.
This channel doesn't bother them.
No.
It's when one of us gets on another channel. Like, you know, think about Owen's channel. He had a good following.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what percentage of his followers think that the earth is a ball?
At this point, like none, right?
Yeah. Like none.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're banned for life.
Yeah.
And by the way, I invented that.
Oh, he stole it from you.
No, we both came up with it at the same time. But he made it a meme, for Christ's sake.
I just like the ability or the kind of honesty to say, like, I have no problem banning people. Because I'm anti-censorship, but I totally understand that if you're creating a certain environment, then there's shit that you're not going to allow. And that's just having boundaries. It's okay to have boundaries.
Right.
But people are always like, you censored me and you kicked me out. It's like, yeah, I did censor you. I'm not censoring you overall. You can still say whatever you want, just not in my chat room.
So the only tool that the trolls have when I put up a video is to, just they overtake the comments. They come in strong And so I've been guilty of this where I watch a video, I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. And then I go to the comments, I'm like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
Because the comments influence you right away. So they try to go into the comments and just dominate. Like I'll put up a video and the trolls come in super hard. So now what I do when I have a new video, most of the time, it's unlisted. And I put it on the app. And I do that for other people too.
That's
sometimes.
Smart.
I put it on the app so it just goes out to 30, 40,000 flat earthers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I leave the comments open so they all go in. Then when I take it public, I put the comments on approve only.
Ooh.
And by the way, I love a good critical comment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hey, this is wrong because of this, this, and this, or
Yes.
what about this?
Yes.
I'll even pin that comment and respond to it.
Yeah.
But if you're an idiot, you're dumb, don't breathe, this and that. That's the dumbest thing ever. Have you ever?
No, you cut out again. Ugh. So annoying. And I don't want to talk because I don't know if you're still being heard by everyone else. All right, I'm just going to talk anyway now. I do like the idea of responding to not trolls, but people who are thoughtfully disagreeing or thoughtfully asking questions. That's essential. Debate is great. Free thought is great, but it is when you come in just to be derisive and divisive. You're back. You're back.
Sort of. Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't think it's them screwing with us. I think it's my crappy Cablevision Wi-Fi. A lot of people, I think they're just sucking bandwidth.
Yeah, it could be. I definitely, it is weird though that like the internet will work perfectly all the time for everything except for when I'm live streaming. But I understand it takes a lot of bandwidth to do it. But anyway, back to your point, I do think it's essential and vital to have debate and discussion and questions and going back and forth and to not just have like this echo chamber of people who all just agree without any thought. But yeah, it's different to come in and just shit on something and be derisive and divisive just to, to drown it out.
Right.
And I often think it's bots doing it too. I don't even necessarily think it's all like real life trolls that are on like a mission because they're bored. I think it's a lot of it is AI and bots that are sent in to have
on the
that
Flat
effect.
Earth Podcast Facebook page. It is filled with bots. They hammer their comments there. And so I ban as many of them as I can when I'm bored.
Yes.
My recommendation there is don't comment because I'll probably ban you just for commenting.
Just because you think it's a bot.
Because I have like 500 words that actually semi-hide the post. So rather than click unhide and seeing what it is, ban. So the chances that you'll get banned are high. So don't even comment.
Yeah.
There. I love comments on the YouTube videos. I can't get to all of them. But
it's a lot of work to manage things like that when there's that many people who are interacting with it.
And when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you have 4,000 new comments, right? Because Simon Dan did a hit piece on me. I just dump. They're all hidden, so they don't even make. They're all behind. Approval only.
Yeah.
I delete every comment. I delete them over and start. So sometimes if you comment and it doesn't show up, that's why. Because you were in a shitstorm of other comments.
Yeah. You're in a shitstorm of 4,000 other comments. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
Try again next time. Better luck then. All right. Well, we went far past the final words of wisdom. Are there any secondary final words of wisdom that you would like to throw out?
Yes. Tune in to Jeranism Raw at the top of the next hour.
In like 20 minutes, yeah.
No, it's an hour and 20 minutes, right?
I think it's in 20 minutes, but I could be wrong unless you gave yourself a break.
No, I must give myself a break. It's 9 p.m. Eastern.
You deserve a break.
9, 10, 11. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking, yeah. Like I said, I moved from Pacific Northwest to here, so I'm still dealing with time change issues in my head.
TFRlive.com at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's an hour and 23 minutes from now.
All right. I'm going to be there, and I'm also going to listen to the Titan Search of a Titan or whatever.
Titan. Yeah.
Unveiling a Titan playlist on...
What's the name of my channel?
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole.
So DITRH.
DITRH.
It's just the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole.
Same initials that are that your D Live is under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm going to watch both of those, and hopefully everyone else will too. Fellow travelers of the path.
You have to make it through the first 4.
I'm going to.
You have to get through.
I'm committed to that.
Be like, all right, the first one doesn't convince you. Second one doesn't convince you. Third one, scratch your head. Fourth one, you're like, God darn it.
You're like, fuck you. All right, I'm committed. I'm going to do it. I understand that journey, and I'm down for it.
Yeah.
All right, fellow travelers of the path, it is a beautiful thing. This has been your analog, electric, concentric dose of wisdom, according to Dave Weiss. Dave, thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Sometimes the biggest question in our mind that stops us from truly examining our beliefs is the simple one: why would they do this to us? It's nearly impossible for good people to see how dark and twisted some amongst us have become, and therefore it is nearly impossible for us to imagine the lengths they might go to in order to ensnare us and keep their domination game running strong indefinitely. It's the least desirable thing we can do to look deep inside of ourselves and see the shadow, but we must, because we must remember that humans are capable of heartbreaking and beautiful goodness, and that we are equally as capable of staggering and horrifying darkness. Do not make the mistake of believing that those who have sought and taken power have done it for benevolent reasons. Do not make the mistake of believing that your own goodness is universal, and remember that the easiest prey is the prey that does not take notice of the predator. And then take heart, because once your eyes are open, you can protect yourself from any danger that exists. Be sovereign, awake and bold, and until you find the owl hunting you in the night, travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first. Mwah. Thank you, everybody.
It's a one-on-one lesson, so do your homework. Make your dome hurt while up on earth. My bones are blessed from holy dirt. Vibes manifested to words that told me search for verbs and adjectives to describe birth. Words more than one can speak, while the tongue feeds a weak, a sour taste in your mouth, bittersweet. Words can also kill you when you sleep, mind condition, low frequencies while the subconscious mind listens. I can tell a vision filled with lies disguised as truth, and spread it like the word to the youth. Watch the
This
tube.
happens to me like
A place where the
everything
God
works
is
perfectly,
food is
and then as
sources
soon as I start
to
to do a video,
recreate
go
the
live or
God
do anything,
forgery.
everything starts
There's more than meat that meets the eye, not too many know. Just hear me flow like the eye of horrors.
But anyway.
All right, that was fun.
That was fun. Thank you so much.
Ready to leave until we believe
Awesome. I'm
we're
gonna
free to go.
use this video also and put it up on YouTube, probably.